Hey guys, welcome back to another amazing tutorial. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to draft, cut and sew a perfect princess that bustier directly on your fabric without a pattern and a boss dart. This method is very simple, detailed and beginner friendly. So if this looks like what you really wish to learn, please watch this video till the end. And if this is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. So the first thing you're going to go ahead to do is to cut out your fabric. And here I have the fabric I'll be using. I have the fabric folded into two and I'm cutting both my main fabric and the lining at the same time. So to know the amount of fabric to fold, all you need to do is to divide the biggest part of your bodice into four and add at least 6 inch for your allowances. So the biggest part of the body I'm working with is the bust, which is 39 inch, divided by 4 is 9.75. Then I went ahead to add 6 inch extra for the allowances, and the length of the fabric I have here is my half length measurement plus 1 inch for the sewing allowances. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to come down by 0.5 inch at the top of my fabric, and I'll go ahead to draw a straight horizontal line like this. Once I'm done doing that, next I'll go ahead to start inserting my vertical measurement. So this 0.5 inch I came down by is going to be the sewing allowance for joining the shoulders together. So I'll go ahead to place my tape rule on the line, then I'll start taking out my vertical measurement. And the first measurement I'm going to go ahead to take is the shoulder to bust point. So I'll go ahead to measure my shoulder to bust point. After marking that, I'll mark my shoulder to under bust, shoulder to half length plus 0.5 inch. Next, I'll go ahead to draw straight horizontal line at the point I just marked like this. So next I'll move over to the shoulder line to insert my shoulder measurement at this point. So I'll go ahead to divide my shoulder measurement by 2 and I'll mark that. After marking that, I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope and mark. Then I'll go ahead to insert my armhole depth and I'll mark that also. After which I'll draw the armhole line with my ruler like this. So next, I'm going to go ahead to take out the dart, and to do that, the first thing to do is to divide your bust pan measurement by 2, then you add 0.5 inch allowance to it. So the 0.5 inch is going to be the sewing allowance that you'll be using to join the center panel to the side. Remember, we are drafting directly on our fabric, so you will need to add every allowances while drafting. So the bust pan measurement I'm working with is 8 divided by 2 is 4 plus 0.5 inch. So I'll go ahead to mark 4.5 inch on the bust point line and also on the waistline. After marking that, I'll connect the point together with a straight line like this. So next, I'm going to go ahead to take out the dart. For the dart, I'm going to be using 2.5 inch for the dart. I'll mark 0.5 inch on the center panel and the remaining 2 inch on the side panel. So I'm going to go ahead to place my tape rule and mark 0.5 inch on the waistline and also on the underbust line. After marking that, I'll go ahead to mark the remaining 2 inch on the side panel. So I'll mark 2 inch on the underbust line and also on the waistline. After that, I'll connect the 2 points together with a straight line. So if your bust is 32 to 38 inch, you can use 2 inch for the dart. But if your bust is above 38, you can use 2.5 inch for the dart. After marking this, I'll be coming down by 1 inch from the bust point line and mark. Then I'll go ahead to connect that point to the under bust using the curved part of my ruler like this. So this is what you should have after connecting. Next, I'm going to move over to the armhole to take out the armhole dart. And to do that, I'll go ahead to locate the midpoint of the armhole line and mark. After marking, I'll connect that point to the bust point with a straight line like this. So for the armhole dart, I'm going to be taking out 1 inch for the armhole dart. So I'll be marking 0.5 inch on both sides of the line I just marked like this. So I'll mark 0.5 inch down here and I'll mark 0.5 inch at the top. Then I'll connect the two of them back to the bust point with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. So after connecting it, the next thing to do is to replace this 1 inch dart to avoid shortage when joining the center panel to the side. So I'll be coming up by 1 inch on the last dart leg. After going up, I'll go ahead to extend the dart leg to that 1 inch. and this is what it's going to look like. The next thing to do now is to start inserting the horizontal measurement, which is your bust and waist measurement. So on the chest line, I'm going to go ahead to insert my bust measurement divided by 4 and mark. After marking that, I'm going to be adding 2.5 inch extra for the sewing allowance. I'm going to be using 1 inch to join the center to the side. Then the remaining 1.5 inch is going to be my side allowance. I hope this is clear. So I'm adding 2.5 inch for the sewing allowance. 1 inch will be used to join the center and the side panel together. Then the remaining 1.5 inch is going to be my side seam allowance. So I'll go ahead to mark that. After marking that, I'll move over to the waistline. So on the waistline, I'll mark my waist measurement divided by 4. After marking my waist measurement divided by 4, I'll go ahead to replace this 2.5 inch that intake on this side. I'll mark it on the side like this and mark. After marking that, I'll also go ahead to mark 2.5 inch for the sewing allowance. 1 inch will be used to join the center to the side. Then the side seam allowance is going to be 1.5 inch. Once I'm done doing this, I'll go ahead to connect the chest line to the waistline with a straight line like this. After connecting, you'll be having a slant line like this, but once you close up your darts, you're going to be having a straight line. Next, I'll go ahead to draw the armhole with the curved part of my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So after drawing the armhole, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert the neckline for the bustier. So I'll go ahead to mark a neck width of 3 inch and a neck depth of 3 inch also. So you can draw whatever neckline you want. After marking the neck width and neck depth, I'll connect the neckline together. Then I'll go ahead to draw the shoulder slope. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now after drawing the shoulder slope is to go up by 0.5 inch on the shoulder slope. This is the sewing allowance for joining the shoulders together. So I'll mark 0.5 inch like this. Then I'll connect the 2 points together with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. So basically, this is what the front block of the bustier is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So after cutting, this is what it's going to look like. The next thing to do is to confirm my measurement. So I'll go ahead to confirm my measurement on the bust. So my bust measurement divided by 4 is 9.75. Then 1 inch is going to be used for joining the center to the side, while my side seam allowance is 1.5 inch. So confirm your measurement to be sure it is correct. Next thing to do is to notch your under bust area on both the center and the side panel, so that when joining the center to the side panel, you will know the part that fits in properly. So basically, this is what the front is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to show you the easiest way to cut out the back block. So here I have my fabric folded for the back. The length of the front and the back fabric is the same thing. I love doing it this way so I can trim off any excess I have on the back. Remember, your front waistline and your back waistline is not the same thing. So to avoid shortage, what I love to do most times is to use the same measurement for both the front and the back. Then after sewing, I will trim off the excess I have at the back. And I'm going to be showing you how to do this in this video. So the first thing to do on the back is to mark out your zipper allowance on the center back. So I went ahead to mark 1.5 inch for the zipper allowance. After marking, I connected the points together with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. So after connecting it, the next thing I went ahead to do is to place the front block on the back block. So I'm using my front block to cut out the back block. So you go ahead to place the center panel of the front on the back like this, making sure that it starts from the zipper allowance. After placing the center panel on the back, the next thing to do is to place the side panel on it also, making sure that what you have on this dart area is 1 inch. That means you're going to be using 1 inch for your dart intake, and also you make sure that the armhole is aligning as you can see on the screen. So make sure that the armhole is aligning, and also the space you have at this point is 1 inch, which is going to be used for the back dart. I hope this is clear. So this is what you're going to be having once you place the front block on the back. So after placing the front block on the back, the next thing you're going to go ahead to do is to trace out the armhole as you can see me doing on the screen. After tracing the armhole, you go ahead to confirm your bust measurement. So you place your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 in string allowance. As you can see, I already have that at this point. So what I have here is my bust divided by 4 plus sewing allowance of 1.5 inch. Then on the waistline, you go ahead to measure your waist measurement divided by 4 plus this 1 inch that you took at this side, then plus 1.5 inch. So you are having excess at this point because remember at the front we mark out a data of 2.5 inch. So I'll just lift the front block up and mark my seam allowance on the back like this. Then I'll connect the chest line to the waistline with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. This is the easiest way I use to cut out the back block using the front block of my bustier. So after doing this, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to mark the neckline for the back. So the neck width is always the same thing. You go ahead to insert whatever neck depth you want. Then you go ahead to draw the neckline and also trace out the shoulder slope you have on your front block. So after tracing it out, this is what you are going to be having. This is what the back block of the bustier you're making is going to look like. So next thing to do is to eliminate the zipper bulge by going in by 0.5 inch on the waistline like this. Then you also go in by 0.5 inch at this point. After which you're going to go ahead to connect that point to the chest line using a straight line, and you do the same thing for the other part also. So basically this is how to draft the back. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So after cutting, this is what the back block is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to sew in the darts on the back, and I'll go ahead to cut out my wording for the front block of the bustier. Then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So here I've gone ahead to pad the bustier. So if you don't know how to pad your bustier properly, I have a detailed tutorial on how to pad, iron and sew your bustier properly. And I'll be dropping the link to that tutorial in the description box for you to go ahead to check it out. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to quickly do is to join the center panel to the side, and I'll be repeating the same thing for the lining piece also. So after joining the center panel to the side, this is what the bustier looks like. I also went ahead to give it a good press, and this is what I had once I was done doing that. As you can see, the bustier came out really nice, and this is what the inner part of the bustier looks like. And I also repeated the same thing for the lining piece, and here I have the lining piece. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to trim the armhole for the front block of the bustier we are making. Remember, the front armhole and the back armhole is not the same. And to do that, I'll go ahead to fold my main fabric into two like this. After folding the fabric into two, I'll repeat the same thing for the lining piece. Then I'll go ahead to place the lining piece underneath my main fabric, pin it down, then I'll trim the armhole. So to trim your armhole, all you need to do is to locate the midpoint of the armhole, go in by 0.5 inch, then you go ahead to redraw the armhole like you do when you're drafting your normal basic bodies, after which you trim off the excess. So after trimming the armhole, this is what the bustier is going to look like once you're done trimming the armhole. As you can see, we now have equal armhole on both sides of the bustier. So here I have the back block of the bustier. What I went ahead to do was to stitch the zipper allowance together so I can show you how to trim the back so that both the front and the back can be equal. And I've also gone ahead to sew in the darts for the back. So make sure you have all this in place before you start trimming the back. The next thing to do is to place the front block on the back, as you can see me doing in the video. So after placing the front block on the back, make sure that your bustier is standing like this. So make sure that your bustier is standing like this for you to know the difference between the front and the back. So I'm going to go ahead to measure what I have here, and what I have here is around 1.5 inch. So that's the difference between the front and the back waist measurement. So if I'm drafting on my pattern, I'm going to take out a bust dart to achieve this. but because this is not a pattern, it is directly on my fabric, I can't take a bust that on the fabric. So this is the easiest way to do it. So you place the front on the back like this in such a way that the waistline is straight, as you can see me doing in the video. Then you measure whatever difference you have on the front and the back. So that is what you are going to be cutting out. So for me, the difference I have on the front and on the back is 1.5 inch. So I'm going to be cutting out 1.5 inch from the back. So I'll go ahead to fold the back into two like this. Then I'll measure the 1.5 inch, after which I'm going to go ahead to cut that part out. So after trimming the 1.5 inch from the back, this is what your bustier is going to look like. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to also trim the same 1.5 inch on the front. Remember, if you're drafting on your pattern, you're going to be folding in the bust that. So that is what I'm trying to achieve at this point. So you place it like this, making sure that the armhole area is aligning. So this excess I have at this point is what I'm going to be trimming. And when you take that measurement, it should be the same as what you trim out for the back. I hope this is clear. So I'm just going to go ahead to trim off the excess I have, like you see me doing in the video, on both sides like this. So this is what you are going to be having after trimming. As you can see, both the front and the back is now equal, so you will have no issue when you are stitching this bustier together. I hope this is clear. So once you are done doing all this, the next thing to do is to confirm your shoulder to waist measurement. And to do that, you're going to go ahead to place your tape rule on the shoulder and take your measurement. So what I have here is 18 inch. 17 inch is my half length measurement, while 1 inch is going to be for the sewing allowance. As you can see, everything came out perfectly well. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to finish up the dress I'm making. And the main purpose of this video is to show you how to draft a bustier without a pattern. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my other tutorials.